What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Angry Jackalope, Robert R. Ricks. Yeah, we gonna have a fucking doozy of a show today. Yeah, it's gonna be something else, I think. It's gonna be something else, I think. We're gonna discuss Gallop, New Mexico, and also play a clip from, I think his name is Minifish. I think that is the name of the channel. Well, let me double check real quick because I want to give credit where credit is due, because that's how I does it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking real quick at my history, which is if somebody looked at my history, they'd be like, what the literal fuck is this dude on? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Original was, well, let me go down because I saw this maybe last night. I think I saw it yesterday. And it was like, yep, it's right here. Yep, Minifish. So that is the channel Minifish. And we're going to be discussing that as well as some other stuff. We're going to go a little deep today. So I ask that you guys put your thinking caps on, empty your cup of knowledge, open it up a little bit so that you're receptive to some what ifs. We're going to do some definite what ifs. And, you know, in addition to some what ifs and whatnot, we're going to actually do a little bit of drinking because, yeah, it's kind of a heavy one. Right, so we got the Yaks, we got the Learlope, we got the Garen Pandalope, we got the Vixen, Mrs. Yakalope, and Brian is up in this motherfucker too. So, oh God, why did I grab this one first? Oh, this is gonna be horrible, I think. So this is Evan Williams Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to like this. I really don't. But yeah, fuck it. Beggars can't be choosers, right? Go ahead. Go ahead, throw your questions out. Ooh, actually it smells delicious. Oh, God. It smells delicious. Let's, oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. It's a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. Woo. Woo. Woo, that finish, though. Oh. If I was cold, I'd be feeling really warm right now. I'm going to chase it a little bit. Sorry, guys. Go ahead, throw your question out, Garen. Also, it's kind of a preface to all of this. I got a text. It looked just like his name was Rob too. Hawaiian. His voice was deeper, and Surfer dude like, oh, so his voice was more like this, bro. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, brother. This was Evan Williams, Kentucky bourbon. Not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. So anyway, I'm going to read you the text. I'm going to edit some of the text because do I have any of the Schrade Bowies left? Dude, the Bowies. So that would be the Jethro. I don't think so. I think I have a Little Ricky. And yeah, I have no Jethros. I know actually for a fact I don't have any Jethros. Hey brother, it's Blank. I don't know if you've heard about what's going on where I'm at. If not, look up Gallop, New Mexico, complete lockdown. And I said, no, I didn't know anything about it. And I looked it up. I said, you good? And then I read a little bit about it, was like, holy shit. So then I replied, what the hell? Is it really that bad there from your perspective? Do you personally know anyone with the Rona? All right, Leroy. No, I don't have any of the Leroys. Are you sure? Yeah, that is a Leroy. That's right. He says, nah, no one I personally know has caught the Rona, but two of my wife's coworkers caught it, so she had to get tested, and the results came back negative, and that was a relief. As for the lockdown here in Gallop, they have all of the off ramps, on ramps, and all the roads in and out of town are blocked. They have all the local police, a lot of state, highway, and New Mexico National Guard setting up checkpoints. There are over 1,000 cases of the Rona here. Okay. And I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. I said, be safe, man. He goes, it feels like they're trying to impose martial law here. I said, well, fuck, that's super crazy. That's what this is kind of a soft martial law for most of us and an actual one for you, it looks like. He said, yep, the governor of New Mexico has authorized this lockdown from last Friday at noon till this coming Thursday. And since I don't have a New Mexico ID, I can't go to town. And the only one that can is my wife. The screwed up part is there's only been 20 deaths due to the Rona, which is not enough to merit a town-wide lockdown. I'll send you some info on it. I said, yes, please do. And then he said, a little bit later on, he said, Gallop emergency order extended. And then there was a little article on that. And he goes, if you plan on discussing this, let me know. I'll try to get some pictures. I go, yeah, do that. He goes, shit's getting crazy, so I'll keep you updated on everything. I said, okay, be safe. He goes, you too. And then he sent me a bunch of pictures, but the pictures really didn't show a lot, right? But there was one picture that just showed a fucking boatload of cop cars, right? He goes, hey brother, here's the best pics I could get of the closest checkpoint, and majority of the state police parked at the local state police station right off of I-40. I go, fuck, that's a lot of cops. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm actually really leery about that many cops still here because tomorrow is supposed to be the lockdown and it's supposed to end. I said, all right, well, fuck, let me know, bro. He goes, will do. You and your family stay safe as well. I said, okay. So then Thursday, which is when it was supposed to have been done, he goes, well, 3 more days of lockdown in Gallop. Governor Lujan Grisham extends lockdown in Gallop until Sunday. I go, Sunday? I go, that's fucking weird. Why add just a few fucking days? That doesn't, I mean, what the fuck? And he's all, I wish I knew, brother. Governor seems to be on a power trip thinking that she has complete control over everyone in the state. I go, fuck, man. I'll discuss this shit on Saturday. He goes, thanks, you and your family stay safe. So, it's funny because this was Thursday, and then a clip from Minifish popped off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it in case you guys haven't seen it, because I'm not monetizing things or anything, and I just felt it was kind of interesting because I was like, what the shit? There it is, right here.
Hey, Minifish, 7th of May, 2020. And I truly do pray you're all well. I really do. About a week ago, May 1st, there was an incident in New Mexico. A small town called Gallop was completely sealed off. All roads into Gallop were blocked due to the coronavirus, okay? They invoked the Riot Act. Bear with me here because you all know that I don't typically use gematria. The only time I ever go there is when I am led there. May 1st was always an interesting day for much of recorded history. All the various things that are associated with this day, and it just carries on. But as they closed down Gallop, it came upon me to go to Gematria and show you something. Gallop, for one, is what you do when you ride a horse, okay? And when you're galloping, and if you never rode before, a gallop is a run. It's full on, very powerful. And it's my belief that the four seals, the first four seals in Revelation 6, were opened 2,000 years ago when Jesus ascended to the right hand of the Father and was deemed worthy to open the seals. However, he sent his Holy Spirit. So those horses have been bridled. They've been held to a walk. Only some conquering, some war, some death, some famine, but they are about to be let loose and break into a gallop. This happened on May Day in New Mexico. In the Gematria, the English Gematria is 666, okay? Now, I also mixed it up, anagrammed New Mexico, and it spells out once we mix. New Mexico does. 666, once we mix. This whole lockdown of this town, I believe, is a blueprint. And this is what's going to spread throughout the country and the world. These are the four horsemen delivering, basically, the mark of the beast. I mean, this is just how I'm seeing it, you know? So 666, once we mix, the tyranny, the martial law, and they began this on May 1st at high noon, and it was only supposed to run through the 3rd, 5/1 through 5/3. But they extended it, and it's supposed to end today, right, on the 7th. So they closed all roads into Gallop, and at that particular time, there had only been 19 dead, which I thought was interesting, in a town of 22,000. So just do the math. Now get a load of this. The roads leading into Gallop, the main roads, let's go to the wiki. I want to show you this because you just can't make this stuff up, you know. Gallop, New Mexico. Let's go right here. US Route 66 passed through there. Okay, the song Route 66 and everything. But in 2003, the United States and New Mexico Departments of Transportation renumbered US Highway 666. This is a separate road. This is a north-south road. Route 66 is an east-west road. So you have an intersection of 666 and 66 that was there. And I don't know of anywhere else in the country or the world for that matter where you have 666 and 66 intersecting. Those are the crossroads, you know what I mean? I went down to the crossroads. The city's other major highway it renamed as 491. Now that's interesting too because 491 and 66 are now 40 and 491. And if you add the two together, it's 531. Turn that backwards, you get 135, and you add the two together, it's 666. So 666 comes out of the former Route 66 and 666, which are now 40 and 491. Route 40 is a very critical road, by the way, and so when you have a choke point like that, you can do a lot of stuff logistically. And Gallop, of all things, right? Gallop, New Mexico is a 69 in the simple gematria. It's just, it goes on and on, you guys. Remember, New York is also 666. Then, in their article, they claim that New Mexico's total of 3,513 confirmed cases of coronavirus and at least 131 people died. Again, the 351, the 315, the 666. Turn it around the other way, 513 and 153, 666. Now this is where it gets interesting because, like I say, you know, I'm seldom led to the gematria. But when this was shown to me, it's like there's no way this is an accident. The whole world is clamoring and raising trillions of dollars to find a COVID-19 vaccine. Simple as that. It just so happens to equal 666. And it's also interesting to note that 23% say they will not get a COVID-19 vaccine, a 666. Now, this is interesting. This just came out today. 23%. Now remember the 23, like if we look up here, right? May 1st, 2011, Obama claims the death of bin Laden, the cartoon character lie, right? 9/11, Bush invoked Psalm 23 on 9/11. Obama, in the same year that they claimed to have gotten bin Laden, 2011, on 9/11, invoked Psalm 46. And as of May 1st, going forward to September 11th this year, it's exactly 19 weeks. So you have 9 years ago, 19 years ago, and 19 weeks. And the 69, that is the devil's plan. The 69 represents the 46, the flesh, man, plus the 23, which is the vaccine or whatever they do to incorporate the mark of the beast. The 23, those in Christ. You're separate. You're in this world, but you're certainly not of it. See what I mean? So 23% are saying they will not get a COVID-19 vaccine. You see what I'm saying? 666. They're also looking to give us bio implants. That exact term, a medical term, bio implant. You guessed it. And they're going to run this whole system through an AI. An AI system, again, another technical term used in the mainstream. AI system. 666. And of course, last but not least, global genocide. Even though there is no globe, but nonetheless, 666. You know, everyone knows about the Microsoft patent, the 666. Did you know that there's a House bill, 6666, that's going through Congress right now? In fact, let's take a look at that. H.R. 6666, to authorize the Secretary of Health and Human Services to award grants. And what that means is to payroll the thugs and the mobile health units. They're going to be eligible entities to conduct diagnostic testing. This is what they're going to do, folks. The contact tracing and related activities such as contact tracing through mobile loving caring health units and as necessary at individuals' residences. Do you understand? They're coming to your home through this contact tracing and for other purposes. But don't worry, we're from the government and we're here to help you. So, I mean, I have to share this stuff with you guys. There's just no way around it. 116th Congress, incidentally. And again, there's much to this, you guys. And I just simply wanted to share this with you because it is revealing to us. This is the revelation of Jesus Christ, the book of Revelation, manifesting before our eyes. The mark of the beast is coming, the whole kit and caboodle, but it's right in front of us. If they ever try to tell you you can't go to work or buy food for your family unless you have a vaccination, my personal advice, you tell them to go to hell. Call on the name of Jesus. It is imperative. God bless you all. Peace and grace to you. Many fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God.
So, yeah, it was funny because Manyfish is a channel I follow quite a bit. And, you know, here I was talking with one of the viewers about what was happening in his backyard, and I came across that video, and I thought, you know, that's a little too serendipitous. I was like, fuck, I need to at least hear it. And it's a little weird, right? It's almost like that's the blueprint of what they plan on rolling out. I mean, we've already seen that the tanks have been positioned in different spots. We already seen that there's the FEMA body bags and the blah blah blah. That's just out there, ready to rock and roll. So you got to ask yourself, man, motherfuckers don't just put shit in places to not use. So I don't think we're out of this any way, shape, or form anytime soon. And you can see by the way the media is whipping the racial flames. You see a lot of these cops just with gleeful attitude, just beating motherfuckers down. And then of course we had those two dudes. The dude was jogging, and they were like, "Oh, he looks suspicious," and so they got in the trucks and they followed him. And I mean, what the fuck were they thinking? Look, if you're not man enough to step to somebody with your bare fucking hands, then you're not a fucking man, right? So if they're sitting there thinking that they're saying we're gonna stop him and just talk to him and find out, what's what, you don't roll up on a motherfucker with gun, because the minute I see a gun, I would have responded the same way. I'd have been like, "Get the fuck out of my way!" As soon as homeboy tried to put it down, I would have wrestled with him and I would have got shot. Same as homeboy. So a lot of stupidity going on here. And I think a lot of this is really by design. I think this whole pandemic and the whole damn near house arrest bullshit, I think it's designed to really weaken us, to turn us weaker. And I gotta tell you guys, this week was really weird. The videos that kept landing on my feed were like, what? There's a guy, I just recently subbed to him. Like, I don't really, a lot of times it's like, there's just too much shit to watch. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times I will watch videos on double speed. If I can go 4 speed, I would go 4 speed. But there's a guy called, if you guys have been on the Discord, you would have seen me sharing some odd TV. And he has a clip up that's basically titled Rona Debunked Biochemistry by Biochemistry. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of stuff that popped in there that kind of made other connections for me that I hadn't considered. One of those, there's a book. It's called Invisible Rainbows. And on the Discord, I also have links where I did stuff. Let's see what's up here. Let's see. I'll step up like they did in Step Up 1, Step Up 2, and Step Up 3. Oh, that's fucking funny. Dems are locking things down, don't want things to reopen until after the election. I said, yeah, longer. I think, guys, I think there's not a hand in our government that is not guilty and bloodied at this point. I think there's a full court press for some shit we have never, ever, ever seen or anticipated in our lifetime. So this dude, Odd TV, he put out a very good clip. And in that clip, they talked about a book called Invisible Rainbows. And in that book, there are some observations about the rollout of technology and the adverse effect that it had on humanity. And the person kind of alludes to the fact that, like the Spanish flu was not even a flu. It was a technological reaction, which got my brain humming. My spook meter was like through the fucking roof, because I was like, oh, motherfucker. Because a lot of people are unaware that our bodies basically has an EMF field, an EM field, electromagnetic field, that flows around it. And there is a very, 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 very fun and cool trick you could do with your friends and family and whatever. And it doesn't require a lot, but like a metal spoon or a paperclip. Paperclip works really, really well. But the gist is, you have a person put their hands out in front of them, and you tell them, "Don't let me put your hand down," and you push, and they resist, and they're like, it's hard to put it down. Then you have them hold something like a paperclip like this, right? And then boom, suddenly that arm just drops. I did it to my dad years ago, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And he was really disconcerted about the whole thing. But the bottom line is, there's a electromagnetic field that flows around our body, and as long as that field is not broken, we have strength. And you'll see a lot of times chiropractors will be doing things with you, and they'll be doing these little electrical things, and they're checking to see if you still have flow. What's up, Nacho? So it's kind of interesting that this person with the invisible unicorns postulated that technology could have been a culprit in the Spanish flu, and she substantiates even further by saying there was a research that a group had tried to do. They tried to figure out how things spread. So they brought 100 people in that were healthy, and then they went and they gathered up mucus and swabs inside of the mouths and the nostrils of these sick people, and then they proceeded to put that bodily fluid in healthy people. And not one person got sick out of that 100. Then they said, fuck, maybe that's not how it's transmitted. Let's get some blood. So they did some blood draws and injected it into the people. And they didn't get sick. They thought, maybe it's close contact while they have a conversation. So they got them really, really, really close, like this close. "Hey, how you doing? Hey, my name's Rob. How you doing? Yeah, hi." And at the end of it, they had the sick person exhale out, and they had the healthy person inhale in. And again, nobody got sick. They were very perplexed. They're like, "What the fuck? Why can't we get these people sick from the existing sick people?" And that was interesting to me, because I was like, some bitch. Now, one thing that people are not understanding is, during this time period, they were running electrical. They were just getting the electrical infrastructure in place, and they were running lines into people's apartments just like this. And what's interesting is, if you look at, let's see, where is it? No. Did I not put that picture in here? I guess I did not put that picture. Give me 1 second. I'm going to add another picture in here. And this is called fields. Let me add a source. Let me browse. And let me go. There it is. What I want. So we get different types of energy bombarded on us on a regular basis, right? And everything from the TV, the cell phones, to radio, to the actual electric grid and the earth, and etc. There is a lot of different frequencies that our bodies interact with. So dog parts are horrible. So it's interesting, because here we have this boom of this massive technology being added into different infrastructures right around the same time period as the Spanish flu pops off, right? I'm not saying it's the only culprit. I think this was definitely a contributing factor. And when you stop and think about the fact that our body has an EMF that flows around, and I want you guys to notice the ways that the rings flow off of the body, okay? And I'm going to show you another picture here of the earth. So if you look at the Earth and you look at the waves that come off of it, notice there's a gap on the top, gap on the bottom. That's what she said. We have a gap on the top, gap on the bottom. See how the energy just flows up and out and creates these little, it's called toras. Let's see. But anyway, the sun is always bombarding us with a lot of different energy, and our ionosphere basically acts as a shield and buffers and takes stuff like that. Now, if you've ever wondered why the ocean has waves, the theory is the gravitational pull of the moon creates waves. And I always thought that was kind of interesting. And folks in the ER always have an expression. Whenever there's a full moon, people tend to go a little bit more crazy. And they have more of a wild time in the emergency room. Well, what if that's not actually the case? What if every celestial body and space itself is one big gigantic electric grid, different frequencies, different wavelengths, etc. And then when we have a full moon, there's just not something, the moon basically has an unobstructive influence on our bodies, and thus we have an interaction on our EMF that causes fluctuations. So what if these fluctuations from different types of technology actually has to have some kind of an acclimation process? So new technology comes, whether it be Wi-Fi, whether it be 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5Gs, etc. ad nauseum. Each time that there is a new range that is introduced to the human body, there are some people that are going to be adversely affected by it. If I'm not mistaken, New York, for example, has a lot of new technology rolling out there. Right before all of the Rona stuff, we saw New York having a bunch of these towers, these really monolithic, interesting towers showing up all over the city, and nobody knew what their form or function was. In fact, people would ask the question and they wouldn't get answers, but they were told that it was yes, tides are from gravity. That is the common theory, but again, that is something that was taught to us. So we have to assume that the dance that the Earth and the Moon do together is a mutual gravitational pull from one body to the other body, and that's what creates their waves. And that's fine. I can get behind that. I could also postulate that sometimes we see waves appear when there are certain frequencies. If you ever play with sand, for example, and you put it on a woofer and you do a bass note or something, sometimes the sand will take the form of different geometric shapes. I don't know. I don't have the answer. All I'm saying is this is very interesting to me, because during this time period of the Great Spanish Flu, there was also this great technological expansion of technology. So we had electrical lines being drawn everywhere. Now, if you've ever seen how trees respond to power lines, you could have a tree growing directly underneath a power line, and you'll see the branches go around it. So plants are sensitive enough to know that even those power lines have some kind of an energy coming off of it that the plants don't like, the tree does not like, and so the tree grows around it. So stop and think for a second. If the tree in its natural state is picking up something that it views as dangerous, then that should have been a hit and a half our ass for a long time. Another interesting video that kind of popped around was a video that showed birds
don't like the 5G.
attacking a 5G tower.
Pulling it apart.
Now, you could say, sure, maybe these birds were trying to grab the hanging wire for a nest or something.
Jeez.
But it doesn't appear that way to me. And it doesn't appear that way to
like
the
it,
people
mate.
that were recording this. it seemed like these birds were doing a concerted effort to fuck that 5G tower up.
They're not dumb, the birds.
Now,
They know what's
birds
happening.
have their own internal navigation system,
Good on them, mate.
and these frequencies coming off of this
Yeah. God,
5G were
they're
probably
going for it, aren't they?
really irritating the shit out of these birds,
Like,
and it was
fuck
something
the
that
5G.
they were reacting to. And so I find this also extremely interesting. So what does that mean? Like, you know, like, does that mean that they're rolling out technology and then they saw people were getting sick and they said, hey, well, let's just use this to an advantage and shut down half of the fucking planet and, you know, execute some of our agendas and further those along? Or is there something more nefarious? Did they plan this ahead of time and say, well, we're going to get a certain number of people that are going to have adverse reactions? Because here's another stat. A lot of the people that are showing up in the ERs and even the influenza numbers, those numbers are the same. They did not decrease due to social distancing or people staying home. So how is that possible? If the common consensus is this is a viral contagion that is airborne, but people are staying home, well, then how are you having a 60% admission rate that were self-quarantined? Where are they getting it from? Well, I would postulate that the technology, the Wi-Fi and everything else, people are spending a lot more time in their houses. They got more, if they're not used to working around Wi-Fi on a continual basis, now they've got more Wi-Fi blasting through them. There's more technology, blah, blah, blah. Could it be, you know, any number of those things? But I find it interesting that we're still seeing an influx of influenza as well as the Rona while people are quarantined. That doesn't make sense unless there's another variable that people are not taking into consideration, which is the electronic and the different frequencies and the different noise that is coming from all of our devices, whether it be monitors, whether it be actual computers, Wi-Fi, our cell phones with the different G networks, etc. Those are all interacting with us. We just can't see it. If we were able to see inside of the electromagnetic field and see what was going on, then people would probably be like, what the fuck? And I think there's probably a fairly decent percentage of the planet that is not adversely affected by technology at all. Like myself, I am surrounded 24/7 by technology, and I don't get sick very often. In fact, the few times that I ever did get sick were direct correlations between things like me being highly, highly stressed out. And we did know, there's a theory anyway, that stress causes an increase in cortisone, which also makes you your immune system more depressed, and then we get sicker, right? Bad diets also are a thing that could lead us to be more susceptible to getting sick. And then the other thing was, I actually went in and got flu vaccines a couple of times. I don't do flu vaccines anymore because I don't trust them, primarily because of Baxter. I don't trust Baxter. See, you haven't even got it yet. I've already bought a leather sheep upgrade. Off topic, but I don't care. I know, dude. That's awesome. Those sheets are actually really nice too. The leather ones, they're super nice. Leo basically bought my Felon, so that should get there on Monday, and so he's super duper excited, and I don't blame him because this is a fucking great knife. It's a really fun knife. But back to what I was saying, you know, there's a lot that we don't know. Every time somebody tries to do a research on the adverse effect of technology against our physiology, a lot of times they get squashed out. Their papers never see the light of day. They get ridiculed, etc. In the same token, there's not a lot of research that talks about the effect of the sun. So solar flares that hit us, like what are the adverse effect of having all of these different forms of radiation making it through our ionosphere and hitting our planet? We know through some of the more alternative channels that solar flares and things like that can cause earthquakes. They can trip tectonic plates. So if you can imagine, if it has pressure that is affected on the planet, then why would it be such nonsense to consider that maybe it affects us as well? So I just think there is a lot of stuff that the mainstream world doesn't want us to ever think about. I mean, if you look at Nikola Tesla, for example, Tesla sits there and postulates that there's enough electricity flowing around on this planet that you could basically power everything for free. You wouldn't need to have need for power companies and things of that nature. Solar panels, they absorb energy coming from the sun. You have yogis in India, for example, that claim they don't eat and they get all of their nutrients from the sun and water. So I don't know if that's a bunch of bullshit or not, but that is something that exists that people have been researching for quite some time. We also know that the sun provides us with vitamin D as well as other things. And then if you ever take a walk out in the sun when you're highly stressed out, there's a lot of effects that we feel after the fact, right? So sometimes you've been out in the sun, you feel sun fatigued, but you also have, at least for me, as a person who deals with depression on a regular basis, whenever I take a walk and I'm out inside in nature with the sun, my mood is severely lifted. I've been doing a lot of gardening and things of that nature lately, and that has been the real highlight for me during this whole Corona bullshit. So, there's a lot of different cultures that have talked about ways of dealing with sickness and things of that nature. And that video I talked about from ODD is really worth watching. It's super good. Put it on double speed, sit back, absorb, because I definitely think as human beings and researchers, we kind of owe it to ourselves to do enough due diligence to make informed decisions, especially considering the fact, and this is fact, that our education system, including the medical system, was founded by one of the forefathers of the fucking Illuminati, right? Rockefeller, specifically. And those motherfuckers were the evil of the evil. You want to talk about an evil empire, those are the evil motherfuckers right there. Didn't give shit about us and used propaganda very similar to the way that we see Mr. Gates as this kind benefactor talking about, saving the planet, which I don't buy. I think that guy has his own agenda, as do a lot of these players in this particular situation we find ourselves in. So it's on us to kind of look and research and figure some stuff out. When I saw that Rockefeller was behind not only the education system, but the medical system, I was like, shit, that makes a lot of fucking sense. And of course, that put me at odds against my wife, because my wife is a nurse and, she's very proud of that fact. I said, look, I don't think that the medical industry as a whole is full of shit. I do believe that the medical industry is kind of like a money-making machine with benefits, because if you get a broken arm, you can go in. If you need your gallbladder taken out, they can cut you open, take your shit out, patch you up. There's a lot of things that medicine is really good for, but the one thing that medicine is not good for is to actually find cures for things. Medicine as a whole is more geared at dealing with symptoms. And it's kind of insidious in of itself, because our bodies create a lot of the symptoms, fevers, for example, that are designed to deal with the shit that we're supposed to come in contact with to make us healthy. We're supposed to have dirt. We're supposed to have grime. We're supposed to get dirty, right? I'm not saying go out and fucking, have sex with a fucking dead corpse and, any disease-ridden thing that you can think of and just be haphazard about it. No, I'm saying going out, if you drop something on the ground, pick it up, dust it off, and then eat it, that's no big deal, But the way that they're trying to condition us right now with constantly washing your fucking hands and securing your area and social distancing and all this other bullshit is not what we're built for. We're built to handle shit, And I think that's the thing that really bugs me. The other thing that I find very interesting is there are reports that 5 technology does adversely affect different things. So we see the birds reacting to it. Well, birds are not the only animals that use the electromagnetic environments to navigate. Bees do as well. So there are some folks that are saying that this new technology is the culprit for the bee kill-off. Now, I find it very interesting at the same time that we're having... Remember now, we've been seeing the decline of bees for a while now. And people like myself that pay attention to the environment, we're really, really, really concerned about that. Because if we lose bees, in a lot of ways, we're kind of fucked. The bees are a very vital part of the environmental chain of life. But isn't it interesting that we hear reports, not widespread reports, but 2 actual reports of the fucking, giant hornet, killer hornet, murder hornet, all the bullshit things that they're saying, that, go through and decimate beehives. There's 2 physical specimens in Washington that were discovered, and they were researching it, and they sound the alarm and everything. There's 2 of them. They have not found hives yet. They're putting out bait and everything else to find out. But isn't it funny how the media jumped all over that? And now the media is saying, oh, people are freaked out about the murder hornets, and now they're putting out traps, and it's actually affecting the regular bees. I'm like, yeah, okay, way to put that, way to play that. Not to actually unleash these hornets, but create a fear state where they can turn around and blame the idiots for killing off the bees, right? Hey, what's up, Asher Toe? Welcome. So, there's a lot of bullshit that's going on. There's a lot of fear that is being dished out. And then let's talk about these fucking pigs. I'm going to call the asshole cops pigs, because they are the worst kind of assholes on the fucking planet. Yes, Garen, the murder hornets. There was only 2 actual physical samples found in Washington per my last research that I did maybe a week ago. Even the guy that stings himself, I think he just came out and put a video out that said, look, guys, this is not a huge epidemic. Stop freaking the fuck out. We got to stop being these giant pussies walking around afraid of our fucking shadows, and actually take a hard look and understand one key point. The mainstream media is bullshit. It is designed for one fucking purpose. And no, it's not to make money. It's to fucking control us. Plain and simple. That's all these cocksuckers do. Okay? Yes, in Japan, Yak, the honeybees in Japan have figured out how to do that. The bees here in the States have not had to deal with that shit. So until they deal with the true invasive species like the giant hornet, they won't raise their temperature because they don't need to, right? That's one of those spontaneous evolutionary jumps that species do when they're facing extinction level events. But all of us here should remember, we don't trust the media. We don't trust the mainstream media because we know they have agendas. We know they lie and make shit up on a regular fucking basis, which we saw over and over and over forever. And we still see them getting caught making shit up. Oh, look, we're taking footage from Italy and saying this is New York. Come on, man. So, understanding that they're full of shit, let's extrapolate that out. Well, how did they become full of shit? Well, they got bought out. They got bought and paid for. There's different groups like the CIA, as well as banking cartels, etc., that run the mainstream media. Okay, fine. Well, what about these other secret groups? Well, Council of Foreign Relations, CFR, blah, 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 Bilderberg Group, think tanks, etc., etc., etc. These guys all plan and execute these plans against, a retarded world that has half-truths and people like Alex Jones and them telling you the truth, that they release certain amounts of truth, but then they always have a misinformation, and they always make you look the other way. Why, if you look at this whole Rona shit, there are tons of videos that are out there that are brilliant. They say, well, you can't get it this way, but you can get it this way, and you can't get, kids can't get it, but if they do get it, it's because they're kids. And it can't, it's like, this is the single most laughable plague ever. And the fact that people are buying this shit hook, line, and sinker is really scary to me. It's really fucking scary to me. It's one thing to be cautious. It's one thing to say, okay, you know what? Let's be careful, which I did. But now as I've had enough time and I'm looking at the data, I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit with a capital fucking B, right? And then I'm looking at the way these fucking cops are just beating motherfuckers down. And I noticed that the mainstream media loves it when there's a white cop beating on a black dude. Because remember now, we had all the Black Lives Matter, we had all the protests, we had all the things forever and a day, and nobody was willing to do shit. Why? Because they were dumbed down and they were pacified because of the fucking fluoride in the water and in the food that we eat. They were too passive, too fucking weak, too pussied. Well, now you lock people up. You keep them in their fucking houses where they start to lose it. They start to get isolation problems. They start to get problems where they just are fired up. My neighborhood here, man, I've had almost three fucking riot situations in my quiet ass neighborhood because of this bullshit lockdown. And we're not even locked down like some fucking places, right? So now that people are locked down and they're jumping motherfuckers because they don't have masks on, or slamming women to the ground because she didn't have a mask on, or there wasn't proper social distancing, or blah 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 blah. Yeah, now they're showing those footage over and over and over. And the one guy, he was just jogging, and the two dudes said, "Hey, yeah, we got our shit robbed," and blah blah blah. And so they went. I'm sure this whole isolation shit had a lot to do with it. They were bored out of their fucking mind. One dude was a former cop. He decided, hey, let's go back to the old heydays and have some fucking fun. Look, they got us a black motherfucker running around. Let's go get him, right? And then the third dude with his fucking phone in the car following and filming shit. Come on, man. It's bullshit. That was just a bad situation all the way around. But now the media's got hold of this shit and they are showing it over and over as if there's like two sides to the equation. I think anybody that has seen that footage said, them motherfuckers was wrong. That's fucking stupid. What the fuck? You don't approach a dude with a gun. The minute you approach a dude with a gun out in the open, you're automatically escalating the situation to a black level event. Now, I'm not talking black from like the color of skin, black as in life and death, right? So if you have a black level event, that means that you're going to probably die. So black dude sees two fucking hillbilly white dudes coming up on him in a fucking white pickup truck. You don't get any more stereotypical than this shit. And if you watch dude when he's jogging. It's not even like he's running for his life. He's jogging. He goes around the vehicle. Suddenly he sees the guy with the shotgun. He says, fuck it. He jumps at it. And then he gets fucking shot and dies. And then they don't do nothing about it for months. And then fucking the video comes out and everybody loses their fucking minds, right? So we have this knee-jerk reactionary state of fucking, oh, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. Oh, don't say this word. Rob, you said retarded, that's hurtful. Don't, so, fuck you. I'll say whatever the fuck I feel like because I got my First Amendment rights, and, as long as, this particular platform doesn't kick me off, but it doesn't matter because you guys are listening right now live. You're hearing it live. And so as long as one or two of you are hearing what the fuck I'm saying, mission accomplished, right? Because I'm trying to say we are being bamboozled. We are being screwed over. So the question is, why? What's the agenda? Now, I've said before, guys, I don't care who's sitting as president. I don't give a shit because in my mind, whoever it is playing some role. Don't know what the role is. And these guys that are putting the whole production together, they're really fucking good at what they do. This is not their first fucking rodeo. They know how to do this shit. So we see we're about to hit economic hard times. Well, what does America do during the economic hard times? Well, I'll tell you what we do. We go to war. Who are we going to go to war with, Rob? China. But we can't fight China. Yes, we can fight China because we're not really going to fight China because it's going to be maybe a little bloodied version of wrestling, right? Because, you know, they wrestle, shit, motherfuckers is bleeding. They cutting themselves. They're doing whatever. They're getting body slammed on thumbtacks, whatever. They're getting hurt. So I would imagine a war to be sold, to be believable, would have to have a body count. The same as our trade war had casualties, right? So yeah, we're going to go to war with China. And I think Russia will get involved, and we're going to go into World War III while we have a global motherfucking, what's that shit called? Depression. A global depression will make the last depression look like a fucking tea party. I mean, really, the supply chain's already fucked. So we're going to see food prices just skyrocket. There's no way around that shit, right? So we have a shitstorm that hasn't even happened yet. Like I think I said last week, we're on a roller coaster and we're like still going to. It's a big roller coaster. It's going to take a while. And we get up to the top. We start going, oh, that shit's going to fucking make your head spin. It's going to make your fucking head spin. And I think what will end up happening is there'll be some kind of an EMP, or there'll be something that either internet will drop first and they'll say the cyber warfare, and then it'll be a power outage. We're gonna go lights out, and the war will happen. And we'll have sporadic up and down on power grid or whatever, because they still want to get the information out there. And then right at the fucking 12th hour, right before Armageddon, magical Trump will broker a deal. And then, lo and behold, war is averted. There'll be a new power on the planet. We'll have China, Russia, and the USA, not the United States of America, but the USA, or just plain America. Which will be part of the North American Union. We'll gobble up we'll gobble up Mexico and Canada, and that will be all one big thing. And that's why the UK has been pulling out and being assholes to us, because they know what's coming. They see what's coming. They're like, oh, you guys are trying to pull away from the established bloodlines, and, you know, because Canada sucks fucking the Queen's tit. And we saw what that piece of shit in Canada did, fucking unilaterally just stripped away motherfuckers' rights to fucking AR platform. And so, you know, it's gonna be an interesting fucking thing. So people that think, oh yeah, we're gonna go back and things are gonna be back. No, motherfuckers, we ain't going back to the way it was. If you had not already gathered that fact by now, I don't know what to tell you, because there is no fucking way we're going back to the way things were, you know? I just don't believe it, Rob, and I've never been an optimist, LOL. You guys can argue and everything else if you want. You know, this is a theory. This is just my theory, and it's something that I've been saying for the better part of a fucking couple of years now. This is not a new thing. The only thing that's a new wrinkle to this is this whole Rona shit. And this Rona shit is another tool to enslave us. It's just gonna, I mean, any way you slice it, this is a clusterfuck and a half. And the fact that people are just completely terrified, I mean, ridiculously terrified. You can't have rational conversation with most people, because the people we're up against are so brilliant that the minute you open your mouth, they say, oh, you're one of those. You're a conspiracy person. So yeah, I am. I look at shit and I weigh them and I go, oh, there's some bullshit. I think it's some fucking bullshit. And I'm going to tell people, I think this is some fucking bullshit. And people either go, I agree, this is some fucking bullshit. Or the other half of the people will say, oh, you're going to be the reason the apocalypse is going to happen. It's like, whatever. Storm Bilderberg, Storm CFR, the UN, the WHO, all those New World Order companies and brokers of global citizen agenda. Yeah, you know, They don't even hide it anymore. They're coming out straight up and say, this is an opportunity for us to change everything. Yeah, no shit. They have such a chub for this. It's not even fucking funny. They have some far reaching fucking plans. And that's why I'm saying, if you go back and you watch it, it's, you know, a lot of this stuff, like I actually had a really bizarre dream, a set of dreams actually. And at first I really didn't want to talk about it because they're so far fetched. And I was like, I really want to talk about it. I really want to talk about it. Yeah, you see a lot of people waking up, but they want them to wake up. They want them to do the predictable thing. They want them to rise up and do certain things so that they can enforce martial law, you know, slam down a heavy boot on us. It's all calculated. Look, and if you don't believe that this shit is real, you don't think they're this fucking smart, these are the same motherfuckers that read Machiavelli. These are the same motherfuckers that read The Art of War. These are the same motherfuckers that are fluent in the 48 Laws of fucking power. And I'm just scratching the surface. These motherfuckers, that's all they do is plot and plan power. Now, that's if we just consider now this is where we get woo-woo. This is where we get really fucking woo-woo. So if you're going to be like, okay, I don't want to hear woo-woo, Rob, leave now. Because I don't want to hear anybody cry about this shit later. Because I'm about to get magical on your ass. All right? So there were a lot of influential folks that did seances and things of that nature and gathered intel from different sources. Some would say there were demons and some would say there were other things. It doesn't matter to me if they're extraterrestrial beings or if they're demons or whatever. It doesn't matter because we'll just call that an X. Okay, so there's an X entity, right? And the X entity is the group that has access to different technology and everything else, but they also lean a little bit towards the darker side of things. Like they deal with poop and other gross things, and you know they swear loyalty, and you know they're the darker side of the dark web, right? That's where they kind of reside, and you know there's a whole level of nastiness that we can go into, but we're not going to. That's a whole nother video. Let's just call them the X. Okay. Now the X, they do not like spirituality. They don't like morality. They push for the different agendas, transhumanism, etc. You know, expanding out of our normal, you know, human experience. And it got me thinking, because in my dream, and yes, for those people who have laughed at me in the past about saying things like the world could be flat or an infinite flat plane or whatever, it could be just a dome. But in my dream, the earth was round. Okay. So it was a sphere, but the earth looked a lot like the Rona, but the prongs that come off of the Rona were 5 technology towers that extended up towards the heavens and connected with Starlink. And that connection between Starlink and the sky and the technology on the ground level created a bubble around the planet that severed us from the divine source. Or if you don't like that, we'll call the divine source the programmer, the person who created this holographic simulation around us. Okay, so let's just say this is the Matrix. So that guy would be the architect. Okay, so now the architect was severed from us in the Matrix. Okay, so this whole world that we live in, we're in the Matrix. We're plugged in, we're living and everything. But once we died or whatever else, we left the simulation and we were able to connect again with the source or the architect or whatever you want to call it. Well, now with Starlink as well as the 5 technology working in conjunction, the source is severed. So it's almost like the software on the ground level here created a malware that interrupted with the TCP pack, so you couldn't actually connect to the internet. So now we lost our internet connectivity. We're isolated. We don't have connection to the source anymore. And so now we're stuck. There is no, oh, I died, let me get out of the Matrix, or I died, I went to heaven. There's no heaven. You're not connected to the source anymore. So now The negative entities are the ones, the X's. Now, since that link is broken and the code is corrupted, now they can come out and play. And they can do whatever the fuck they want. And it doesn't matter what we do, because there's no rebooting, there is no emergency emails, no tech support, no nothing. We're just completely on our own, isolated. And if you thought the isolation of us sitting in our homes was horrible, imagine a deeper, more profound isolation where we hear the Morpheus going, it's like a splinter in your mind. What is the Matrix? And we discover the Matrix, but we're stuck in it. And we have the knowledge of knowing that we're fucking slaves and we're being ass raped every day by the X. So that was a fucked up dream. And when I woke up from that dream, I was really kind of bugged out. I was seriously like, that's fucked up. But then a couple things kind of clicked into place for me. Like, yeah, Space Force. Okay, yeah, all right, space, fighting up there in the sky or whatever. Oh, yeah, they don't want us outside a lot. They don't want us outside. They don't want us going to the beaches. They don't want us, looking at sunsets and everything, because, oh, shit, maybe during sunsets, there's these arrays that are going to reflect the sunlight, and ta-da, we'll see shit we're not supposed to see. So anyway, it was weird. It was a weird dream. I'm not going to say it was a prophetic dream or anything else. It was just a fucking wacky, weird, woo-woo dream. And I thought, that makes sense. That would be really, really, really logical. Because if there was some kind of a divine source or an architect or a programmer that is watching over us, making sure that nothing bad happens, like it runs the anti-spyware, the antivirus, and everything else, and it's the programming of the system that keeps everything running in harmony, then JC says, sounds like what happens when you accept Christ as your Lord and Savior. Right, but extrapolate that even further. What if you have accepted Christ as your Savior, but then the connection to the source is severed, and thus you're trapped? It doesn't matter, right? Because they found a loophole. They're like, oh, look at let's take Asgard, right? So Asgard had the bridge, right? I forgot what that bridge is called. And when that bridge is broke, well, it's very difficult to traverse from one reality to the other. What if there's actual physical or metaphysical ways to traverse from one experience to another, but by utilizing things like the Halon Collider and all these other things, they actually figured it out. Not on their own. They had help, but figured out, hey, you got to get rid of the Bifrost, and this is how you do it. You do this, and haha, it's broken, bitches. Now y'all stuck with us. You got nowhere to go. And, I told this to my wife. My wife's like, well, wouldn't the Heavenly Father just know this and figure it out? I said, fuck, what if it's a second delay? Heavenly Father knows, oh yeah, I'll fix that right now. So 1 second. Well, what does 1 second equate to in divine time, right? What if 1 second is a million years on this fucking planet? That's a whole lot of ass raping, while the system's rebooted. I don't know. Anyway, it was kind of a funky thing. And it does, because it seems to me, and I think the reason for the dream is, it seems like these evil fuckers that are at the center of all this have not one agenda, but multiple agendas lined up. But for what? Right? What is the end game? That's the $1 billion, $1 trillion, $quadrillion question, right? What is the end game? I don't buy that it's money, because they can print money. I don't buy that it's our resources, the wealth transfer, because shit, there's easier ways to do that. I don't buy that it's control of us, because shit, we were already pretty happy little fucking worker bee slaves that lived in invisible cages and consumed constantly. So then what is it? What's the real end game? What's more valuable than all of that? And the only thing I could think of was our souls. That was it. That's the only thing I can come up with that was way more valuable than any monetary or controlled or whatever. And if they found a way to block it so we were stuck, fuck, that sucks. So anyway, like I said, sure, God wins in the end, and I have no doubt that is all part of a big plan. But at the same time, shit, I'm sure the Jews really hated the whole Nazi fucking concentration camps and everything else that they had to endure and go through. So, okay, yeah, it's all part of God's plan, but fuck, that really sucks. If we're like, oh, great, our role to play in this life is to go through the actual physical manifestation of revelations. That sucks. That sucks ass, right? So anyway, it was just some shit that I was kind of looking at, and I was like, it's kind of crazy. Because anyway you slice it, there has always been a concerted effort to get rid of the natural indigenous people on the planet. And the natural indigenous people had a relationship with the earth. So I don't know how many bushcrafters that I know will sit there and say, my life has been complete dog shit. But the minute I go out in sub-zero temperature in the bush on a hammock, kind of quasi-miserable, but at the same time feeling very exhilarated and happy at the same time, I feel a lot better. Why is that? Because you're in fucking nature and you're getting your body aligned with the natural flow of energy that the planet provides. I mean, here's something that blew my mind. I'm growing tomatoes now. I never knew tomato plants actually have flowers on them. And those flowers, inside the middle of those flowers, are the things that become tomatoes. I never knew that. As I am taking the patient time to grow tomatoes and vegetables and things like that, it's amazing to me how much work and effort goes into this. And I look at it and I go, wow, this shit is all miracles. Like watching life grow in front of you and being kind of humbled to say, well, shit, it's a symbiotic life. Like I grow this plant is dependent on me, but then the fruit that it bears will provide me with the nutrition that I need to live. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's wonderful. And so I look at that shit and I go, wow, that shit's amazing. I would have never, ever, ever thought about that with my technology life. It was like, fuck it, I'll go to the store and buy a fucking tomato. And so when I stop and think about that, I go, wow, there is a lot we don't know. There is a ton of shit that I just feel completely stupid. And I feel like a mental midget when I go, wow, I've been alive almost 50 fucking years. And I'm just now learning the miracle of, gardening and things of that nature. Building a relationship with the life around me and being a good caretaker on the planet. And it's just kind of mind boggling to me because they have sped up our life to the point where everything is instant gratification and we have become completely dependent on many, 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 many systems. And the systems themselves have become dependent on many different subsystems. And when one or two of these subsystems go sideways, then we've got a problem, which is what's going on with the supply chain. So what's the answer here, right? What do we do, right? So my Christian brothers will say, get right with Jesus and accept him into your life and, you're good. I'm a little bit more, I like to solve my own problems. If JC wants to lend a shoulder for me to cry on from time to time or give me comfort as I'm wading through the bodies of my enemies, fuck, that's great. Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that. But I'm a firm believer in Father helps those who help themselves. And I think one of the key things for people to do is one, to just first and foremost acknowledge we don't know shit. And the other thing is all of the so-called science around us that a lot of people will just point to and say, oh, if you don't subscribe to this, you're a moron. Well, I'd like to remind them that education was created, the education systems were created to create perfect little cogs to work inside of factories and stuff. And it was also part of these evil elite motherfuckers that did it. So this education and these science foundations and all this other stuff that everybody likes to point to and say, well, duh, that's just common knowledge. Well, no, that's common indoctrination. You've been indoctrinated into that mindset, but you don't even have the common fucking observation skills to look around you and question the most mundane things. You accept everything that these motherfuckers tell you. You accept everything that the magic box tells you. If you didn't have the glasses to put on that said, hey, look, this actually says to obey. Look at all the subliminal shit here. You'd walk around in complete ignorance. And then for people to say, well, we're fucking woke. Okay, great. You're woke. You know there's a problem. But at the end of the day, whoop-de-fucking-do. You know there's a fucking problem. What? Well, okay, whoop-de-doo. What does that mean? You know what the problem is? I just saw a video from a Canadian prepper. Woo! He was on one, boy. He was fired up. He had me laughing. I was laughing out loud. This motherfucker was straight saying, what the fuck are you going to do? You're not going to do shit. Your little fucking keyboard antics of, oh, I know this and that is not going to amount to shit because you can't take them on. He said, I think, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said. Like, you look at a drug cartel or a mafia, you know, they're breaking the laws. Well, the evil fuckers we're dealing with are the guys that write the laws. And I was like, that's right. A pimp friend of mine said, shit, motherfucker. The biggest gangsters on the block is the government. And I was like, I don't disagree with either one of those astute observations, right? But Canadian Prepper said, the only thing you do is to get a lay of the land, see what's coming, and prepare for it. And I don't disagree with that. I think that is a very good, sound logic. You know, if you know there's a fire coming, you prep for it. If you know there's a storm coming, you prep for it. In regards to how do we deal with these assholes, well, the answer is you can't, right? The government loves us and never do anything to hurt us. Well, yes and no. You know, government loves obedient, subservient serfs that will do what they say. But the minute that we say, nah, I don't think we're going to do that. They're like, how dare you? How dare you talk to us like that, motherfucker? You know who we are? We'll shut off your power and we will drop nuclear bombs on you. I believe a motherfucker actually said something very similar to that. And it was in regards to gun things, but I digress. You know, it's, and that right there, Garen, is a beautiful question. Which problem is the real one? Right? And that's where discernment is super important, because we have so many people that say this Rona, for example, does A, B, C, D, E, G, E, J, fucking Z, Y, double A, B squared, whatever. Says all this conflicting shit. And so now we're looking at just one event here and going, who do we believe? Is it highly contagious? Is it not highly contagious? Is there a period of time where it has a fucking R naught factor of 4 or 5? Or is it an R naught factor of 1? Or R naught factor of 0.5? What is it? Oh, you know what I just discovered the other day that had me kind of pissed off? You know what the common name for the coronavirus is? I didn't know this. I got really mad when I heard this. The coronavirus is a technical term for the common fucking cold. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? It's the common cold? Well, shit. How many times have we been told through the ages you can't cure the common cold? Motherfucker. Pissed me off. Pissed me off. And I was like, what? And then I looked it up. Yes, the common colds are part of the, coronaviruses. I was like, motherfucking hell bucket. They are freaking us out over the goddamn common cold. Son of a bitch. Pissed me off. I was like, wow. Wow, that's fucking evil. And then I asked my wife about it. She's like, well, yes, kinda, sorta, but no, that's oversimplified. I'm like, Is it or is it not the goddamn common cold? Because if it's the common cold, all these some bitches walking around saying, well, until we have a cure for this, this is our new normal. Bitch, there is no fucking cure for the common cold. Fuck, there's no cure for traditional stated viruses. Maybe because the big bad viruses that they talk about, maybe those aren't quite what we were indoctrinated to believe. Yeah, the corona test for exposure, not infection, right? And if it's the common cold, guess what? We've all been exposed to the goddamn common cold. All of us. I was like, wow. Think about that for a second. If the exposure test is looking for trace amounts of a coronavirus. And here's the thing that's really got me befuddled. Riddle me this, Batman. They've had roughly about 6 months with this bitch. And they have patents on using coronaviruses for stuff. So I know they've got some of the genetic mapping worked out. So why is it taking so fucking long for them to really give us a very firm, concise breakdown on what this bitch is, right? Oh, some people are getting a rash on their toes, and some people are feeling fizzing on their arms, and some people, it affects the brain, and oh, some other people, it affects the respiratory system, and come on, man. Are you fucking serious with this shit? Are you fucking serious? Like, I did my best, guys. I did everything they fucking told me to do, but I'm like, you know what? I'm getting to the point where I'm like, man, they're making us wear masks. There was another thing somebody showed me. That really, this one spooked me. He was like, you ever seen Eyes Wide Shut? And I'm like, yes, I've seen Eyes Wide Shut. It's that Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman fucking Illuminati fucking movie. And they're like, you notice they have to wear masks on their rituals. And I'm like, yeah. I saw a couple videos today talking about that shit. Masks on videos for spells, casting spells. Well, a lot of us walking around fucking masks right now, huh? Oh, son of a bitch. Huh. Are we all part of some great spell? Are we all walking around saying certain words that are magical in nature and inadvertently casting a spell and fucking shit up? Kind of like Homeboy from Evil Dead. He was supposed to say 3 simple words, but because he fucked up the third word, the Necromonicon unleashed a great fucking evil. I mean, like, what the fuck? What is really going on? Remember the good old days when we sat around conspiracy-wide and said, hey, you guys ever seen this Mandela effect? Isn't that kind of crazy? Bernstein? Which one is it? I don't know. It's kind of interesting, huh? Yeah. You remember that James Bond thing with the guy Jaws? Remember he had the metal teeth and you got the elevator dropped and then the girl with the glasses came up and then she helped him out of the thing and he smiled with the metal and then she smiled and had metal teeth too, and because they both had metal mouth, they instantly fell in love and walked off. Yeah, I remember that shit. Man, you don't see that no more. It's not there. It's the motherfucking Mandela effect, man. Remember the good old days when that was the deepest level shit we had to fucking postulate and sit and wonder about? Now you'd almost have to have an encyclopedia that covers all of the crazy shit from the reptiles to the fucking aliens to, the different aliens. I think there's like 35 different subspecies of fucking aliens, from the Nordics to the fucking, what were the ones that the fucking Hitler Nazis were fucking with, the chick ones that could read minds and shit. It's like, man, like, what the fuck, right? And then let's even talk about the fucking Simpsons and all the other things, that all the predictive programming and shit. There was a fucking movie or TV series. I'd never even seen this fucking TV series, but somebody had it in their clips and they were showing, I think it was in that fucking ODD thing. You gotta watch that ODD one, boy. I give that motherfucker props because he dropped some shit on that one that had me going, things that make you go, just don't watch his rap shit. Just because homeboy is an aspiring rapper. Don't watch his rap shit. Just watch his documentaries. I think his documentaries are a lot better than his rap game. But you know what? Whatever. To each their own. But yeah, man, it's like, who do you trust? Who can you really trust? My answer is nobody. Observe and watch. don't make snap decisions. Research, give the liars enough time for the shit to vet out, and then go from there. Another piece that, you will see the connection here. I read a thing that said a mom went to her daughter. Daughter had 2 apples. Mom said, "Hey, honey, can I have one of your apples?" And the daughter, real quick, took a bite. Then took the other bite. And the mom was like this. Oh, okay. And then the girl goes, "This is the sweeter one, Mom." And then the mom grabbed it and said, "Oh, okay." She was taking samples to figure out which was the sweeter apple to give me. And so the lesson to learn there is to not make snap decisions and give something the benefit of the doubt. And don't trust your eyes or don't trust your ears or anything else. You have to wait and give things enough time for you to get enough data points for you to make a discernment, right? Make a rational decision based off the data points that you have. That's why I like fuckers like Cliff, and I like some of these other motherfuckers, because they take a measured approach to stuff. Even if it's woo-woo, even if they're wrong, it doesn't matter, because they have a methodical approach to trying to figure shit out. And I respect that. The same as, I respect anybody that comes to me and says, "Hey, I think that vegans have it right, and human beings really shouldn't be eating animals and blah, blah, blah." Well, the fat guy in me is like, "You're out of your fucking mind, man. Bacon and fucking burgers, and you're a fucking retard." But the rational part of me is going to be like, "Why do you say that?" "Oh, don't mic up. I'm going to listen to what you got to say. And based off my addictions, I'm probably not going to be receptive to your message. I'm just full transparency. I'm a fat fuck. Been eating burgers forever. I probably got prions in the brain and other things that are not going to help this particular conversation. But let's listen to it." And again, watching people that have a healthy lifestyle, that eat a lot of raw vegetables and things of that nature, and the benefit of that is remarkable. And I acknowledge that. I am just too mentally weak, too firm in my addiction, too long of tooth, that I'm just giving myself excuses to not go that route because of my addictions. Like, this is the absolute worst thing in the world I could put in my body. But I do it. Fuck it. This one also. Fuck it. I really don't care. So, that's what we deal with, guys. That's the things that I acknowledge and I understand. That's why I say, for those folks that say, "Oh no, they're not smart enough." No, bullshit. They personally may not be the smartest, but they have surrounded themselves and have leveraged themselves, the smartest think tanks on a planet, for them to come up with plans, and they have enough infrastructure and co-conspirators to actually execute the plan. So, listening to folks like Canadian Prepper and saying, figure out the things that are going to be the most pressing for you. For right now, the food issue is a real issue. So while you can, you'll stock up, make sure you got a lot of food and stuff while you can. And then, for real people say, "Well, I have like 2 weeks." Fuck that shit. Try to get yourself like 3 or 4 or 5 months worth of shit if you can. Let's see. Yeah, those are the news reports you see anymore. Remember Minority Report, keep telling lies until they accept it. That's right. Dot connector. That is a very, yes, holy shit. That's, the funny thing is, I have said that to my kids plenty of times, because we have problems with like grandmas and other people in our family that were like, "How do they believe that shit?" Like, that's not the truth. But I tell them, this particular person has told themselves the lie so many times that they believe it. You can put them on a lie detector test, polygraph, and they will pass that shit because they believe it, because they have said it to themselves so many fucking times. And that's the same thing right there. Keep telling lies until they are accepted as truth. That also falls with the history books, right? History books are written by the fucking victors, and the victors will write whatever the fuck they want, and then you have generation after generation after generation after generation that, they've been taught things went a certain way, but if you went back in time, and you actually saw shit went down, you'd be like, dude, that is so not how the history books show this shit. Are you fucking serious? So anyway, I did see early on there were some people that died. Little Richard died. There was a couple rock stars that had died. Sigmund and Roy, I guess. Roy, the guy who won the Tiger thing, I guess he died. And they said he died of the Rona. So I'm like, oh, of course. We had somebody die from the Rona. I'm sure he did. I had a clip on here about the cops. I don't necessarily know if I want to do that one, though. But it's like, it's... Oh, yeah, propaganda. For fuck. When the CIA started running news, they were putting out propaganda, and they were putting out disinformation, and they were putting out psyops. I mean, the level of orchestrated events at this point is mind-boggling. I mean, they've taken the whole concept of MK Ultra and expanded that into entertainment. You could almost argue that with the advent of the internet and everything else, every child that is probably 18 and under at this point that was firmly indoctrinated into social media and everything else was also indirectly programmed via technology that was learned from MK Ultra. And you probably have a whole lot of PTSD and kids and stuff like that. And, it's just, it's so bad. So bad. The school system contacted me the other day and sent me this thing for the kids. Like, oh, a lot of kids are having a hard time. We have this thing. You guys can call in and you don't have to say anything. You just listen to other people talk. And I'm like, holy shit, they're fucking our kids up so bad that they have support lines that run 24/7 for these fucking kids to call into and talk about how they are going crazy because they are isolated at home and not around their peers and things of that nature. So suicide is another huge problem. Economic ruin. My kids ask me questions, smart questions all the times, and I'm just like, I fucking don't know. Like my daughter said, how do clothing stores going to make it after this? Because you go try clothes on and you take them off. Nah, I don't want to buy it. Well, what are they going to do? How are they going to, sanitize? I said probably UV lighting or something because they can't spray the clothing down with any kind of a spray. Or they'll probably just say you can't try shit on. Like we were at a Cold Stone the other day. I got a tub of ice cream sitting in my fucking fridge that I won't finish because it tastes like shit. It was Oreo cookie cream. And I thought, ooh, that sounds good. I love some Oreo cookie cream. And then they weren't giving out samples. I said, sorry, we can't give out samples. To which I was like, okay, that's dumb because you're spooning and you're handing it to me and I'm eating it and you just need a receptacle for me to drop the shit in where other people aren't going to stick their fucking hands in if that's really the logic that we're following here because I'm not handing you back the fucking spoon. In fact, you're handing more to me as you're preparing the shit with your fucking Cold Stone, metal whatevers. So I was like, all right, fuck it. That's your guys' rule. Fine. Just give me the small one of that. I got home. I got excited. I opened it up. I took a bite and I was like, this is fucking horrible. And I got upset. But as they say, this is the new normal. Fuck that shit, man. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb. Dumb. Oh, stay 6 feet apart. Yeah, you know what else benefits from us staying 6 feet apart? Facial recognition. But Rob, you're wearing a mask. The facial recognition won't work. Yes, it will because of gait. And it also still gets the contour of your face and the eyes and everything else. Oh, it'll still know who the fuck you are. Oh, well, maybe even a temperature, huh? Because if they're doing temperature recognition on you, they might start to add that to the equation of the artificial intelligence. Oh, did we say the magic word artificial intelligence? Yes, we did. That's the other thing they're trying to do. If a robot is serving you, can't get sick from a robot, right? Oh, fuck, I never thought about that. Oh, cuz, we was already kind of going that way, because you go to supermarket, They make you check out at everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cash, bye-bye, all fucking digital currency. It's fucking... Yep, the elite are testing to see what we will accept. Just how much of the stupid rules will we fucking follow? I was in my grocery store. They actually have markers saying you can walk this way and you can walk this way. I'm like, fuck you. I just walk whichever way I'm going because that's a failed concept. Look, here's why there's dumb. I walk down an aisle for shampoo. I don't know where the shampoo's at because they don't alphabetize the shit and they don't have any other markers, so you have to go and read. And I'm going down and I go look back behind me. Oh, there's one behind me. Now, do I back up? I'm going against the grain. Or do I go all the way out, go up around, come back this way, come this way, and then come this way? Fuck that. I take 2 steps back, grab the motherfucker that I want. I'm good to go. It's dumb. They want to see just how many dumb motherfuckers are going to well, that's the rules. I'm going to follow the rules. Yes, I know one of the rules is that I have to put this on my testicles and it's going to shock me once a day to make sure that I'm alert so that I can do whatever my job is. I get that, but that's the rules and I accept that because the rules make us safe. That's like these fucking asshole cops, man. These asshole cops getting these fucking instructions from motherfuckers. There's a video. What's his name? Lucas or something. He put it on there. I have it queued up here, but it's like 8 minutes long, and I'm not going to make you guys watch a video. You guys can go watch it yourself. But if you're on a Discord, I'll put it on the Discord. You guys can check it out there. But it's a cop. He's sitting in his car, and he's like, look, my fellow officers, this is fucking stupid because you guys, and the one point that he makes that I thought was the most important point was, you're putting my life at danger. He's a cop. You're putting my life at danger because you are eroding the relationship between the civilian and the law enforcement. I'm here to help them. But by you guys being assholes and fucking people up, now they're going to be afraid of me, which is going to make interactions with them precarious and dangerous. Which I'm like, yes, this guy's got fucking, he's on the ball. And everybody is like, oh, are we gonna be able to vote? Are we gonna be able to vote? It's a bullshit elections. I mean, come on now. I told this to my wife. If Trump is not killed, he'll be the next president, regardless. I don't give a fuck. He'll be the next president. And if he's not, this will be the very first prediction that I've lost since Bush Jr. First one. I've called every single fucking election and I've won probably 5 times the amount of money I've made on YouTube over the last 7 years, 6 years, whatever. So, yep, Trump will be the next, he'll be president again. Unless he quits or dies. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that. Ain't more to say about it, because I believe he's instrumental in the plan. Because I explained this to somebody the other day and they didn't get it. So I said, Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again." You notice he says "Make America Great Again," not "Make the USA better again," not "Make United States of America better again," because America was turned into a corporation, I believe, in 1817. I might be off on that, but 1817, I believe. So it doesn't matter about 1776 because we incorporated the United States of America, all caps, as a corporation, and we basically stopped being the good old America at that point. He also knows the dollar is dead. The dollar has to die. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Dollar's worth like 4 fucking cents. So, one way to make America great again is to destroy that corporation, which is hooked into England firmly. And that's why England's so pissed at us, because they're seeing the writing on the wall. He's like, aha, fuck you, motherfuckers. I found a loophole. We're going to kill this corporation. And then it'll just be plain old America again. And then at that point, we are our own sovereign country again. Not this corporation that's only intent to be and run like a business. 1871. Thank you, Dot Connector. There you go. I had it inverted because of my dyslexia. So when I said 1817, I was like, it's 1871, which I'll remember now because I was born in 1971. So that'll be easy for me to remember going forward. But, so you kill and collapse the corporation, and you make all of its agreements and everything else null and void. And then you go back to a gold standard and you have Congress minting up their money, or you have them on your digital currency, whatever. That really doesn't give a shit, right? As long as it's Congress that's behind it, not the Fed or anything else. And then at that point, you can be like, haha, fuck you, Fed, fuck you this, fuck you that. We're just plain old America now. Well, that one move right there would make America great again. So it's kind of code. So, give them benefit of doubt, say, okay, if that's the game plan, great. That's awesome. That kind of lends into a whole Q movement, which I don't trust Q. I really don't. But that would bring that whole concept of make America great again. And I like the fact that it would piss off England to no end. And then in that regard, maybe they could make Canada great. You know what I'm saying? USA is a franchise, Crown Corporation, City of London. That is absolutely correct. And my wife looked at me like this. What? And I said, look. You can get mad at me, okay? You can look at me like I'm a fucking idiot. I had a conspiracy gal that I went to school with. Super smart. Okay, this girl was smart before there was smart. And she was telling me this shit years ago, and I had to look. I had to look at my face like this. And she's like, "Yeah, we're all property, and our Social Security is traded on the market, and blah blah blah. Like we're assets, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Damn, Kool-Aid much?" And then years later, I was like, "Son of a bitch, she was right about all that shit. Holy fuck, this rabbit hole is fucked up." It is deep, and it goes way past Albuquerque. This motherfucker goes to and I try to tell my wife, I said, yeah, you know what? I said, don't listen to me. Just don't, because you're going to go research it and you're going to go down another rabbit hole. Because I remember when she went down Pizzagate rabbit hole, she was like broken. She was like, what? The children. Oh, I was like, yeah, that's pretty mild. These evil fuckers do that and a whole lot worse, but she was all fucking fucked up from that shit. But yeah, everything that we think is real is not real. And everything that we think is, and it's funny because it's all legal. It's all like legal documents, like case matters. Like, is it uppercase, lowercase? You just look at certain things, you're just like, what? Are you like Federal Reserve is not federal. It's not part of the government. It's private banks, and they fucking loan us money. It's funny because you start down one rabbit hole and you go down another, and you go down another, and you go down another, and people that are really thin-skinned, they can't deal with it. I see people mentally get broken by this shit. Like, they're just like, oh, then they start holding themselves and rocking like, oh my god, no, we gotta fight it. I'm like, how are you gonna fight it, brother? How? What are you gonna do? Write nasty letters? What are you gonna make a YouTube channel? Come on now, motherfuckers. There's probably a fairly decent small percentage, 15%. I'd hazard 15% of people that can detach themselves enough and look things objectively and say, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, that's weird. That's possible. Okay, and then they do enough due diligence. They're like, son of a bitch. Right? And you got people that are like, and they just talk the biggest fucking game. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You fucking pussy. You're not going to do shit. And I've had people in the past say, Rob, man, you can't be talking. Why? Government knows I'm a pussy. They know I'm a pussy. I got family. They can show me some fucking pictures, be like, hey, look. Miley's over at and Angel's over here. Wow, they're really beautiful. It's like, I get it. Okay, fine. Message received, bitches. And I've had weird shit like fucking cigarettes on the side of the house, cars down the street, blah, blah, blah. And, I'm like, dude, I got 3,000 subscribers. I'm pretty low on the totem pole. I don't think anything I say is going to change the fucking world. And so they tolerate me. Because they're like, He's harmless. He's discerning some stuff, and I might inadvertently sometimes when I'm fucking just talking out of my ass, I might actually stumble on some real shit. I guess I better say this, huh? I guess I better cover myself. I, Robert Ricks, of sound mind, do not want to hurt myself and have no future plans of committing suicide. So if I get suicided, you guys can point to that shit and say, they Epsteined his ass. You know what I mean? They Epsteined him. If he really died, I don't know. Because, I don't plan on killing myself anytime fucking soon because my family depends on me. And that's like the point, right? .com, thank you for subbing. I appreciate the shit out of that. The elite have the legal system on their side. Is maritime admit? Yep. Founding fathers use common law. Yep. Yeah, it's a really funny dark hole. If you go down, you'll be like, what does this mean? And then you have to go research and go, oh my god, so that's what that shit means. Is that why they have those symbols behind them? Yes. Well, is there some esoteric shit too behind a lot of the icons? Yes. So would you say that there is satanic symbolism or some kind of magical hierarchy in place? Yes. Wow, that's scary. Yes. But it's like, well, how do we fight it? You don't. Because that's like an ant talking to 15 other ants. Hey, how do we kill that human? Well, we can crawl up his pants and bite his testicles. Yeah, that'll just make him mad, squish us. That's true. We can get up in his eyes, maybe bite his eyeballs. Nah, that's not going to work. Remember Frankie? Yeah, Frankie tried it. What happened? He got eyelided to death. Oh, shit. Well, he got those ears. Maybe we can crawl inside his ears and get in there and maybe tear his brain up. We're not strong enough. We couldn't get past. That's not going to work. Nah, fuck. Picnic? Picnic. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you do? My advice is, and there's going to be some people that are just going to get really pissed off when I say this, but do your research into your faith. Find your faith, because faith is going to act as a foundational cornerstone during rough times. Because if you don't have some kind of a structure to lean on, then that spiritual isolation is going to break you. So for me, it's like, I found Christ. That's me. I'm not trying to tell everybody this because you guys have to find your path on your own way. It's not for me to say. But also find enjoyment in the miracles around us every fucking day, because I don't give a fuck how bad things are. If you wake up and you don't get ass raped and all the other fun stuff, and you're sleeping or whatever, and you have some moniker of safety or whatever, those are blessings. If you can find food and eat, blessings. You have people that you love around you, blessings. Yeah, there's just you don't wake up with a fucking shiv in your spine, blessings. I mean, it could be so bad on so many levels. And I saw somebody was talking about his granddad during the Great Depression, the shit that their families had to do to make it work, to get to Idaho and everything. And it was like, fuck. And I couldn't help but think, how many motherfuckers around us today would have the mental fortitude to just sell everything, load up a car, and go where the work is, and have a tool like an awl or a trowel or something, and actually bend knee and do manual labor to make a little bit of money to scrape together to survive with. Like, how many people have that hustle mentality today to just say, fuck it, let's get dirty, let's survive? You know what I mean? Like, that's what scares me. Because if we had a nation of strong-willed individuals like that said, fuck it, let's get some shit done, I wouldn't be nervous. because we got all these pussies walking around and say, hey, I bet that house over there has some shit. Let's just go steal their shit. Now I gotta fucking kill people, and I don't want to kill people. You get what I'm saying? It's like, fuck. Couldn't we just find a way for us all to work together, to struggle together and come together unified? Nah, man, I want your shit. I got a gun. I'm going to take your shit. It's like, fuck. All right, well, yeah, you had a gun, but so does he, so does he, so does he. And yeah, you're surrounded, dickhead. So guess what? You can go and shoot me, but you're going to be dead. And yeah, so what do you want to do, Home Slice? So anyway, yeah, you wake up 2 days. Fuck, if you could walk, it's a fucking blessing. You know, there are times where my bone spurs on my heel will act up so fucking bad. That dorsal fucking bone spur just tears into my Achilles, and I have to walk on a cane or something else. It hurts so fucking bad. You know, I'm like, damn. You know, to be able to reach my feet, touch my toes. Not because I'm a fat fuck, but because my back is so completely broken and just fucked up. That's a fucking miracle. You know? Being able to think and speak freely. I mean, I have not edited a single fucking word that has come across my brain other than certain keywords which would interrupt the stream, right? Like when I say 5 technology. But you guys understand the gist of what I'm fucking saying. So the overall message of the shit that I'm saying, I'm not editing myself because I'm not worried about a regime coming in, kicking my door in, taking me to a re-education camp and having my daughters raped in front of me to make me change the way I think or do or whatever. Or, you know, put me in a fucking chamber and light me up on, you know, fire and cook me and, you know, just cook me alive with my family, you know, because I disagreed with something that the government said or something else. You know, so that's a blessing. You know, we have a lot of good shit around us. We just have to acknowledge it. So anyway, I went almost 2 hours. This was a big episode. I don't normally do these. So Dot Connector, you're new here. Normally they're about an hour. Subicon said, back again, had to tend to my masters. That's right. That's the right way to think about it too. We bend ourselves to our children and we try to provide to them the best that we can. So this was a 2-hour episode. It was a lot bigger than normal, but there's a lot of shit I felt I had to cover. I'm really nervous about Gallop, New Mexico. I do believe in my heart that is a roadmap. That was an example of what we will probably see ushered out on us. Probably, my guess, if I had to put it on time, I'm thinking we will get through June. So we'll get all the way through May. We'll get partway through June. Right near the end of June, though, we're going to see some fucked up shit go down. And then probably, I'm going to reassess that. Middle of June, shit's going to pop off. Maybe a week after that, it'll be like the you know, third quarter of June. So what would that be like? By like June 18, 19, somewhere around there, we'll start to see some shit start to unravel again. And by July, probably right before the 4th of July, which would be really fitting for the all-seeing eye, right? 4th of July. 4th of July will be when we see the Gallop, New Mexico shit unraveling on major cities. Probably starting off in like LA and New York, Chicago. And then we'll probably see some stuff funneling over towards Texas. Texas will be interesting because remember, they lost a nuke a long time ago. I believe it's out in the water, but during the Bush administration, they lost a nuke. There's always been a nuke in play, and my firm belief has always been in Texas, and I think they've been blackmailing the shit out of Texas forever and a day. So it doesn't matter if they cancel the parades because all of the outdoor events are already done. It's just symbolic, right? If they fucking strike a blow on the 4th of July, that's going to be a travesty. I think some people are going to really, really rise up over that shit. And then I believe martial law will be ushered in at that point. And then that's about the time we're going to start seeing some problems with stuff like the internet. And then if it's not going the way they want it to go, they'll lights out. They'll pop the lights out, and then they'll leave us in the dark for probably no less. Let's see. So July, August, September, October, November, December, January, till February. So 7 months. 7 months of lights out. And then probably after February, right when spring starts to roll around, that's when the blue hats will come in and say, hey, look, we've got a new government and everything will be better. And this is what happened. And there was a war and blah, 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 and whatever. So that's what I'm anticipating. That's what I'm planning for. And the good thing is, if I plan for that and I have adequate resources for it and it doesn't happen, then I'm overstocked. Then I'm great. So any minor issue that pops off between then and then and then and then, I'm just sitting pretty. And that's my recommendation to you guys. You know, Reliant, expansion, dig deep, dig fast, secure resources, be ready. That's it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end it right here. I appreciate you guys spending a lot of time with me on a Saturday. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. If you like it, please. Well, I don't know. I want to do this. I hate my outros now. I might have to come up with a new one. But anyway, I guess I'll keep it going, though. If you like it, please subscribe. Tell your friends far and wide. Until next time, motherfuckers, please be good to yourself, good to each other. Go out, live life to the fullest, ride the bus till the wheels fall off, get some scars, have some adventures, find some love and all that jazz, and I will see you motherfuckers next time. The Robert R. Ricks show will be tomorrow. It will probably be a continuation of the Magic Really Sucks book. And we'll see, assuming I don't have, like, a super migraine or anything else stupid. But that's it. All right, guys. I will see you motherfuckers next time. Adios.